Hi there, it's Shannon Alhart at 12 Days to a Mindful Holidays season. Welcome, so glad you're here. We're on day 2. I hope you enjoyed day 1. If you haven't watched it, go back because it kind of is the basis of all these videos. But day 2 is all about the number one thing that people said was the most difficult about the holidays. So I did some surveys a couple months ago and said, how are the holidays? Anybody stressed out about them? And everyone was like, yeah. And I'm like, why? And they said, family drama, dealing with family. And I know this sounds terrible, but many of us have families that when we all get together, it drums up a lot of anxiety. Maybe there's just some family members who trying to drive you crazy, or you just have some tension going on, maybe some unhealed stuff. And so these holidays become a little stressful. So I have 7 tips for you. So here they are to help out with that family stress, that anxiety gathering with family, and the family drama. And just by the way, tip number 3 is also really, really important. It's a much more sensitive topic, but watch that as well too when I get that out into the world. Tip number 1 for dealing with the stress and the anxiety of family, first thing is choose your level of involvement. So many times we feel like we are obligated to be at every event and for the entire time. And I'm not by all means advocating that you blow off your family. Family is important. But I also realize there are some families that things are really kind of not very pleasant, at least right now. Maybe some stuff's going on. So know that you have a choice. And if you have that choice, own it. Either go and put on your happy face the best you can, or limit your time. If it's an 8-hour event, maybe go for 4 hours and just say, this is what feels right for me. You don't need to give a long excuse or justify it, but just say, this is what I can do with a smile and with complete respect and kindness, and take care of yourself. So I will tell you a funny story. There was a year I totally blew off the holiday. It didn't go over very well at that moment. Later on, sorry, Mom, but she did understand. It was a Thanksgiving. It was the first one after I went through our divorce, and it was the first one without my kids. So I get to Thanksgiving, and I'm going to be with my whole family except for my children. And the void hurt so much, I couldn't even bear the thought. I mean, thinking about it made me want to throw up. So I spent that Thanksgiving alone in the movie theater watching, what movie was that? It's the vampire movie. Twilight. Yes, I admit it. I know, totally. With a big bucket of popcorn with I think 2 packs of M&Ms stirred in there. It's a really, really good unhealthy snack. But that was my Thanksgiving. I just couldn't bear to be around my family, and I was taking care of me just that one time. So that's one tip. Choose your level of involvement. Second tip, realize it's just a short amount of time. It might be a day or 8 to 10 hours. Maybe you have to go somewhere. First of all, if it's a short time, just be reasonable. It's only a short amount of time. Go there, breathe. If you need a break, go step outside, go for a quick walk, run to the store to get something, but just give yourself a little break if you need to and realize it's just a short amount of time. You can do that, buck up, and put it in perspective. Now, if you have to go somewhere and maybe you're spending a week with your family, you're all renting a place somewhere, then take care of yourself. Make sure that you do some things that are pleasant for you, like going for a walk, or maybe say, you know what, I just need some time alone. You need to use your voice. You know what, I need some time alone. I'm going to go watch a movie or go grab a beer, or whatever. But take care of yourself with that. But know that you can choose how much involved you are, and look at the time in a rational way. Tip number 3 and 6 kind of go together. I'm going to kind of wrap those together. Tip number 3, if there is a family member who kind of drives you crazy, so maybe it's someone who just tends to bring up topics you don't want to discuss, or is a really close talker with halitosis, or just something, and you're just not as comfortable with that family member. I get it. We all have those people. Of course, treat them with kindness and respect, but just have a plan. How can I handle this? And maybe limit my interaction very politely and with kindness. My tip number 6 that rolls into this probably doesn't sound as kind, but it's better than being mean to someone. So I have done this, I will admit. It's something in the Elhart house we do. So if there is a family member who is just can be a little grating on your nerves in some way, then have a partner in crime and have a signal. It's just if you feel like you're just ready to just, ugh, and be rude, or you just can't handle one more minute, it's better to step away, take a breath, and step away from that family member. So have a little signal, something really nonchalant like vigorous nose rubbing, or putting your fingers through your hair for a while until your partner notices and you're like, hmm. And then that person comes and says, hey, do you have a sec? Shannon, I just got to grab you and say, hey, I'm really sorry, Uncle Bob or whatever. I just need to grab Shannon for a minute. That person will realize, because of the vigorous nose rubbing, that you just need to get away for a minute. Step outside, take a deep breath, go for a quick car drive. Don't just leave necessarily, but just give yourself a little break and have that person just to give you a little pep talk. All right? Because I get that. Oh, this is a good one. So if you have that relative or that person who keeps bringing up topics you don't want to talk about, maybe it's the family inheritance that everyone's fighting about, or that person you dated last year that was unique, maybe had a lot of flatulence, and they're bringing up things that you're like, I don't want to talk about this. Or maybe it's that person who says, you're already in your 30s and time's ticking. Are you going to get married? And you're like, oh my God, I don't want to talk about this. I know I'm single. It's okay. Have a one-liner. This is an awesome thing to do in many life circumstances. If you say the same thing over and over and over, that person is going to get the clue, or they're just going to be sick of hearing you say it. But if you say the same thing over and over, they will stop. So you say something like, Uncle Joe, I just really don't want to talk about that today. Actually, I'm really, really happy, even though I'm single. Life's great. And then if Uncle Joe brings it up, you're ready. What, Joe? Just really not in the mood to talk about that today. And I'm actually really, really happy. Even though I'm single, I'm totally good. If he brings it up again, you just keep saying basically the same thing. And after a while, Uncle Joe's going to realize he's going to find you irritating, or he's going to realize that he's not going to crack this vault and get into this whole conversation with you. So just say the same thing with a happy voice and a smile, and he'll get the clue. All right, tip number 6. 7, I don't even know, I'm going all out of order. Oh, if your gatherings are kind of boring, if it's like the same thing every year and you're like, oh my God, we do the same thing and we open presents and we eat and too much and blah, blah, blah. Spice them up. Take the initiative to do something different. Bring a game, something that's really fun or entertaining, or a few different games. So you can have some Yahtzee going, and you can have some Taboo going, or Monopoly, or whatever. Bring a fun movie. Have everyone bring photo albums from your family, so you can take turns just kind of passing them around and looking through them and having fun with that and having some good chuckles, or spend some time going around sharing one of your favorite family memories. Just something fun to spice it up. A white elephant gift. All right, so something different. Make it a little more interesting. Let me see if I've done all these because I bopped around. Lastly, remember the meaning you gave this holiday. So in my first video, I asked you to think about, what does this holiday season mean to you? So remember that. And so, like for me, my first word was family. So that includes maybe the person who maybe gets under my skin a little bit. And it helps me to just give a little more grace and love and kindness and realize, what? It's part of the holiday, just to embrace and love everybody, and just to enjoy it to my fullest, which is my choice, to be happy and enjoy it. So I hope you like these tips. If you enjoyed this video, please share it if you know someone who could benefit from hearing them, but also leave a comment. So scroll on down and tell me, what was your favorite tip? What do you think is going to be really helpful to you? Or share another idea. I'm sure there are others other than the 7 that I came up with. So I'd love to hear your thoughts as well. Have a great day.